This podcast is brought to you thanks to all those people who have supported us over on Patreon. If you want additional episodes every month, just go back us for $1 a month over at patreon.com/boardsandswords. Watch very closely now. 3, 2, 1. Bzow! Check that out. That's the wrong intro. Where did Philip put the right intro?
It's Phil's fault. Of course it's Phil's fault.
Oh, it's over there. Okay. All right. Try this again. 3, 2, 1. Watch very closely now. 3, 2, 1. Bzow! Check that out.
We want the fun. Gotta have that fun.
Is it okay if it's okay if like when the bread touches the fries?
Do I really want to just stand still and cast a lightning bolt? No, I want to avoid you and shove a lightning bolt at Grace.
I just crapped my alien pants. By the way, I just want to let you guys know.
You hate all of us, and we're fired.
I've released poison into the AC system. You all have about 5 minutes left to live.
So much news, like all this stuff to talk about.
No, there's been some stuff, but it was all boring.
You didn't go with C.
Well, you need to go with C.
And our friends, we combined.
You've told that story.
We combined. Have I told it on the podcast?
I'm pretty sure
you have.
At
Well,
least
I'm
twice.
telling it again.
Because I just realized as I was reading this that this game's already been done. They even made a show about it. It's called Yu-Gi-Oh! And go watch it.
This is Boards and Swords.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Boards and Swords. This is a podcast with bad jokes, good folks, and a lot of times games. I'm one of your hosts. My name's Chris Renshaw. Philip is out of the area at the moment, which would be weird because, like, normally he's not in the studio anyways. But I have 3 people here in studio. This is, like, the first in, like, a long time. So Cory was here last time that we had somebody in studio, and then her husband Jimmy is here as well.
Me.
Which, if you remember from the Dirtbags of Holding, these two are both on there.
Mm-hmm. Both dirtbags.
Yeah.
Woohoo.
So how's it feel to be Cory's husband?
Oh, it's great. I love her more than anything in the world. She is the color in my life.
You know, because a
And,
lot of people would be like, "Oh, this is Jimmy and Jimmy's wife," but I just thought we'd flip things there for a moment.
Yeah, fun.
Perfectly
Gender
fine with
equity.
me. There we go.
I totally didn't. So you were here last time, but I totally didn't explain anything to you about how the show actually runs.
No.
So I'm going to hit this key here. And you're going to hear me do some bad jokes about the news first. All right. So first up, I actually have a Kickstarter, mainly because there wasn't a lot of like good news that I found.
Oh, no.
And so, but I kept seeing pictures of this pop up.
Uh-huh.
But first, if I flatten a paint roller and use it to put a drink on it, is it a roller coaster?
No.
There's not gonna be noises because I feel it's bad if I like.
If you play a laugh track for yourself,
Yeah, exactly.
that just means...
Okay, I'll just do that for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Much better. Hey, I mean, it was a good effort.
So this first one, it's called Magnet Cubes,
Okay.
and I'm assuming it's just to it's a building system that they're just one of the things is there's a board game. So if you look through here, let me see if I can actually get some words. But it's a strategy game. So in this Kickstarter, there's a game called Cube Climbers. It's a strategy game for 2 to 4 players where you complete for the highest spot of a mountain by stacking magnet cubes, pushing opponents, using grappling hooks, and unleashing magic powers. So there's all these little plastic white cubes. And they're hollow inside, which is really cool. And each one of you can see little meeple-like figures. Each one of them has a plastic base, like an acrylic base, so that they sit on top of these cubes. I probably should I could just play the video and I'll just turn off the music. But yeah, so you can just like stack these cubes and then you roll dice or do something and you try and move. Kind of reminds me of Santorini where you're trying to be like on top first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can build all these structures and do things. But then I kept seeing like marble roller coaster. But so apparently if you're not into board games, maybe you can also use these things to build roller
Okay.
coasters for marbles, which these look
And then
super awesome.
You can motorize it. And,
Yeah.
You
Okay.
can do
Well, I
Marble
think yes. I approve that. I think it comes with the motorizing.
Okay. Oh, little
yeah,
jumps.
because like I think this is all the whole set.
That's
yeah.
pretty neat.
I haven't drilled down into it enough to see. I looked at the pledge levels, but just looking at the pledge levels is kind of unclear as to like how much you need to do whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Like there's the actual, like you can get the cube climbers game piece is easy. That's just $50, which that's pretty cool.
Okay.
But then like there's like a lift pack, and then up here there was like a lift track pack. Like I don't know what that means. And like if I wanted to build this big huge if I wanted to build this roller coaster, what do I need? And it might be
Right.
down here somewhere, but I didn't look that far.
Something tells me it's very high pledge level.
It may be, probably.
Yeah.
I like the way everything stacks in this box, though.
Yeah, that's
Look at
cool.
this.
Very fan. Very
And
big
I
fan.
gotta say that, like, I was like, well, why hollow? But I imagine that probably keeps the cost and the weight down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love an organized box.
Yeah. Just trying to see if I could scroll down to the. It almost looks like they wanted to build a game and then decided someone was like, "Hey, if we just put this track on it." Okay,
Yeah, I mean,
so here,
people will want to use it just to build models and stuff.
yeah,
I mean, they could try and using the same parts for basically put magnets in the like dungeon prefab stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So one lift pack has everything you need to build this looping track right here,
Cool.
which that is $90, and you could make infinite loops and all sorts of
I
stuff.
wonder
Okay,
if
so
it's is it battery powered? Does it look like? Yeah, it's probably battery powered.
I imagine there's probably got to be
I
a.
was saying set one
It
of
does
those,
say battery motor.
set one of those things up on your desk at work and annoy the hell out of your.
Depends on if it makes sound.
It's probably my guess is it's a little noisy.
Oh, I forgot
the-
about the actual balls rolling around the track. I
Yeah.
was like, I was thinking just the motor.
Well, I thought the motor might make a little bit of noise.
Yeah. Look at all these designs.
whirring noise.
Somebody was just like, they got it. They made this, and oh my god,
Oh, sure.
So cool.
so cool. Hoser 40K says that sounds marvelous.
Yeah.
He's taking my job.
Yeah.
Damn.
All right,
Yeah,
next
that's
up,
pretty cool.
If would you say that at a hospital, doctors play a critical role?
No.
No.
Nope.
Yeah, I'd say they play it.
Say you don't need them.
So one of the next adventure books that D&D is coming out with is actually a critical role based book. So it's
Oh,
Critical
Interesting.
Role Call of the Nether Deep. So it's inspired by the adventures. Hey, first of all, I think I've watched or listened to one episode. Have either
Yeah.
of y'all jumped on the Critical Role?
We
Not
wanted
really.
to jump in, so we started watching the
Exandria.
Exandria Unlimited arc,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
which had the voice actress who plays She-Ra,
Okay.
as well as the GM who's done some GMing for
Dimension 20.
Dimension 20.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was good. I think I prefer slightly edited D&D games. So
Yeah.
like their episodes are 4 hours long and it's
Yeah,
just live.
that's my
Yeah.
problem with it is, and it's weekly.
Yeah.
Where like I no, I'm not gonna and there's a lot of D&D shows like this, like where they'll do like 3-hour episodes every
Yeah.
week, and it's
Yeah.
just every week them playing their game, and it's like no,
Yeah.
like
I could
It's a commitment.
I could maybe listen to it. Like if I had a long commute, maybe I'd listen to the podcast version.
maybe
But I don't know. I don't want to devote 4 hours to watch something.
Well, I could maybe see it if it's like you're watching it live and it's in the background and you're
Yeah.
doing other things.
Yeah.
Then, but like I could not actively watch
Yeah.
Yeah.
for 4 hours.
I mean, it seems fun, but yeah,
Yeah.
I would rather I would rather watch an edited version of it.
yeah.
I did watch it at double speed and that was very helpful. So
The dice roll super fast too. So this is inspired by the adventures explored in the Critical Role series, with players wandering from the wastes of Zoras
Okay.
to the continent of Marquette. Greedy mortals have awakened a long-forgotten hero who now calls upon the players to rescue him from the gloomy underworld of Netherdeep, while the moon Roidus
Roidus?
threatens to twist their fates. designed to bring characters from level 3 to level 12. It's got lore
Oh.
about the world of Exandria, along with new artwork, setting, blah, 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 blah. So this is supposed to come out
Exandria.
in March. Yeah. It's. I find it funny that if you follow like the history of Wizards kind of embracing the Critical Role thing,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
the first book they did was a third-party book where they did the Tal'Dorei campaign guide.
Yeah.
It was published by Green Ronin, and just because D&D 5th edition had the open license or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they're like, ho, but we're gonna do an official book this time.
Got
When they
it.
did the
Big Kickstarter.
no, they did there's the it's over there. It's an official D&D book. What's it called? Explorer's Guide to something. Explorer's Guide to Wildemount. That's right. It's
Oh, it's
listed
on
in
there?
there.
Cool.
Yeah. Which that book was something.
Was it just dense? with new
It was
info?
dense. It's like reading an almanac, where it's just like, maybe if I was into that, then
Yeah.
I would be.
It sounds like a reference book for someone who's into the podcast already.
Yeah, which sucked because like the next setting book I read, it was not nearly that detailed, so I was just like completely bummed out.
Yeah. Aw.
So do we know how involved the Critical Role folks are going to be in writing this book? Like, is Matt Mercer going to be
Well, he was
consulting, or-
involved a lot in the other one, so I would
Taldor.
assume if their name's attached to it,
Yeah.
they are.
They seem very busy. They
Yeah,
just put together the new set for their next.
Yeah,
Uh,
campaign 3.
campaign 3,
hmm
and they've got their own publishing company now for other stuff.
I can't believe they're still doing campaigns. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what makes them money. So,
Yeah. Well, then they got like spin-off shows
Yep.
and
hmm
all sorts of stuff.
I am kind of excited for their
the show.
the
yeah.
show that's coming out on
100%.
Amazon next year.
It looks very
So,
good.
It's
That-
always
that's going to be the edited version I want to watch.
Exactly.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because they haven't done that animated show yet, right?
Yeah, that's
The-
what we're referring
They
to.
just
Yeah.
dropped the
Yeah.
trailer for it.
Oh, they did.
Yep. And
Okay.
a lot of people started playing it with, was it Dear Maria? Like it
Mm.
fits perfectly with that
Yep.
song.
Yep.
And it, yeah, is very good.
Okay.
We can put it in the show notes. I'll send you. Essentially, they took the music out and they put in like pop punk as the background music
Gotcha.
instead. It's very good.
I find it funny that like they've made there's like imagine how much money that or saw. Let me try that again. We saw how much money they made in like those Kickstarters and like all these other shows that make all this money, but yet if you look at the stats, RPGs are like the worst
Moneymaker?
moneymaker in tabletop gaming as far as the actual books and stuff are concerned.
Makes sense. I feel
Yeah.
like the books probably aren't what they sell. They sell merch and they sell
Right.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm just saying that there's yes.
So probably Wizards is like, we have to get people to buy more books. So how
Yeah.
can we do it?
Yeah.
Get all the actual plays where people actually pay attention.
All right. Next up, let's see. What did I say here? Oh, this one might be something most don't care about, so you might say it was a risk to put it in here.
Is it Risk like the game? Risk?
Yes.
What?
Risk.
So-
Shadow Forces.
The only reason I put this in here, and there's a new game coming out called Risk Shadow Forces. The only reason I put it in here is because it's being touted as kind of a sequel to Risk Legacy. And the reason that's a big deal is Risk Legacy was the first Legacy style game.
Oh.
Gotcha.
It was done by Rob Davio, who we had on, that show like last time,
Mhm.
literally. And that was where they introduced the idea of the campaign style game that changes and has to destruct like campaign games that existed. But it was the first that like you changed the actual board, stickers, and all that. And then it was after that they did Pandemic Legacy.
Okay.
So this is being touted as the successor, Risk Shadow Forces. It's a game for 3 to 5 players. It's supposed to be released in October 2022, but is available for pre-order right now on Hasbro's site because I think Hasbro Pulse is like their Kickstarter.
No.
Gotcha. Is it still area control?
Let's see. It is the year 2050 and the world is not as it should be. Tides lash down the shoreline, smashing everything in their reach. Hurricanes whip out of nowhere and destroy entire cities, while uncontrollable firestorms tear across nearly every continent.
Yep.
Viruses rage out of control. That's a little too close to home. Within this chaos, nefarious factions at work from the shadows, conducting disinformation campaigns and mobilizing mercenaries to collect a new, mysterious energy resource of incalculable power. These factions, led by ruthless warlords, are fighting for power and control, but they are also simply battling for the destiny of humanity. The shadow conflict begins. Yeah, that sounds area control to me. I do find it interesting, that whole like misinformation campaign piece.
Yeah.
Somebody's been listening to them Facebook hearings a little too much. Like, I can make a board game out of this.
Well, it sounds like they took all of the hot topics of all of the terrible things happening in the world and were like, let's put this into a game so people have to confront it while trying to have fun.
There was someone talking about a game about climate going out of control, and yet it's in a destroyable board game.
Oh.
So, all right, last one, which is, if the people who make Pathfinder make a bakery, would it be called Paizo?
Oh, I get it.
And this is actually a follow-up. So last time I talked about how there was a post talking about how terrible the working conditions were at Paizo. Well, in the 2 weeks that have happened since then, there was an announcement that the Paizo workers have formed a union.
All right.
And then literally just as a couple of days ago, Paizo officially recognized the workers' union.
I saw that on Twitter.
Yeah. So
cool.
it is voluntarily recognized the United Paizo's Workers Union, which is affiliated with the Communications Workers of America. We look forward to working with the union to continue and expand our efforts to make Paizo a better place to work. Blah, blah, blah. And everyone's kind of getting on this because this is like the first in like the tabletop kind of atmosphere.
Okay.
This is the first kind of big union. And Paizo being a large company, it's kind of setting the wayfront that, because there's a lot of, as we see, like if stuff like for you two, I don't know if I talked about this outside the show, but basically like they were working in places that hadn't been vacuumed in like 7 years.
That's terrible.
And like people are coughing and having bad asthma problems. And like it was a pain in the ass just to get them to bring somebody in to vacuum, and they wouldn't let them vacuum. And it's just like common stuff that shouldn't be a problem, but apparently it was.
Yeah. So hopefully collective bargaining will help with that at least a little bit.
And it's just like if people are having that kind of problems, what else is out there that we don't know about?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Well, good for them for getting a union. What did you say the overarching like national union was?
The Communications Workers of America.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm surprised it's not like a book publishing union. I don't know if I guess there might not be any of those. I don't know if there are.
I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see if other companies follow suit.
Would be rad. I'm excited to read more about it and see how, like what comes from it.
Yeah. All right. So now that the news is over, and I can close this off. Now that the news is over, this is where we're talking about like all the various stories and games and stuff we have to talk about. First one I want to talk about is actually one that we hadn't played in a while, but it was a story in of itself. So we played. I bought this at Target for like $10.
Yep.
Because I had heard people talk about it, but I never played it. It's called Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza. It's a very simple game. I love the artwork on this.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
It's just it's got a unique style that's just
Should we
very
do
cute.
the like? Can you see it? Can you?
That's
see
not that camera's not the camera. That's the
This one?
camera.
Can you see it?
It's very glary, but
Yep,
probably.
so glary. Nope, not gonna happen. Here.
If you
I
tilt
think
it
it's an
down,
autofocus.
possibly.
Oh,
Okay. There you
I'll
go.
be right back.
So this game, like, I feel like this game is basically like a gamer's version of Slapjack.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
Slapjack, Egyptian Rat Screw.
Yeah, like all those kind of games, and maybe that's why like it's just so goofy. Basically, you have a bunch of cards, and you go in order, and the cards will have words such as taco, cat, goat, cheese, and pizza, along with some other things like there's narwhal, and there's gorilla,
Yep.
and
yes.
gopher or ham.
I think it's Gopher.
Pretty sure it's Gopher.
Okay, it might be gopher. I was thinking there was like chipmunk or something.
Maybe.
Looking through the cheese.
But anyway, yeah. So
Yeah, so and you take turns playing a card and saying the words of the game, taco. So you'll play a card and I'll say taco.
right.
You know,
No matter what it says on.
no
the
matter
card.
what it says on the card, I'll say taco, and then
Next person says
Groundhog.
cat.
groundhog.
Groundhog.
Yeah, so the next person says cat, and then goat and cheese and pizza, and you just keep going round and round and round. And if ever the word you're saying matches the card you play, everyone has to slap the pile.
Yep.
And
The last slapper gets the
last
pile.
slapper gets the pile. And then there's a couple of other like random things, like was it
Yeah.
the gorilla? If the gorilla card comes out,
You beat
you have
your
to beat your chest.
Groundhog
is
is
you
knock
do
on the
the
table.
The groundhog's knock on the table, and then the narwhal is like you have to clap your hand. Oh my gosh!
And
but-
then did you have to slap the pile after it, or
Yeah.
Yes, you had to
Yeah.
do the thing and then slap the
Yep.
pile.
Yep.
I had the hardest time. Just like it wasn't like I had the slapping down. Like the like when you're saying the name and slapping,
Great slapper.
I had
famously
that
a
down.
great slapper.
Chris, that slaps.
that slaps. This game slaps.
This game does slap. But
In
Chris
fact,
could not get the groundhog.
I could not get it was the groundhog and gorilla. Like
Gorilla,
the
yeah.
narwhal, I got. I was like, boom,
Right.
slap. But I kept confusing the ground. Like I would not. I would. All right, my Outlook account settings are out of date. You need to
Uh-oh.
stop telling me that.
Outlook, poor.
Yeah. So, like, I would keep doing like the groundhog thing when the gorilla came up, and then maybe I think it was because I'm gonna say that just because they were both G's.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What a G. That game,
It's such
super
a
fun,
fast-paced game.
super quick.
But it hurt my hands. Like,
Yeah, we did smack the crap out of each
I
other.
feel like we needed something like that, like this
We
on
had
there,
a-
something to cushion where the cards are.
We had a 3-way tie at one point. Remember when we all had like some fingers under
Yeah.
Oh,
each
yeah.
other.
other
We, like-
fingers?
It's like when you do the thing with the box where like all.
Yeah,
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
There's
except
no
for there was
rules in
like
there for
three. There was like three hands all entwined, and we're like,
Yeah, there weren't any rules in there for that.
yeah,
They were
because I
both
feel like
prepared.
all of us just put our hands in sideways, and so everybody's hand was on some part of the
Yep.
bottom.
That was great.
Which, not knowing what we're talking about, that sounds completely gross out of context.
Gross
Or
or
just
fun.
exciting? I
Better
don't
word.
know.
Yeah, fun little game. Worth
Highly
$10.
suggest.
And there was a lot of laughs.
Lot
Yeah.
of laughs.
Lot of
I'd
laughs.
say so.
And if you're in the middle of a pandemic and just really want some physical contact, you can smack each other in the hands.
It seems like it brings to mind, playing it at Gen Con or whatever. That'd be the perfect, like, it's midnight.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want to set anything up that's heavy.
Or bar game.
I just want to set this up inside the Steak and Shake.
yeah.
I want to
Or,
giggle
or
with
if you're
my
like
friends.
if you're at the bar with one of those standing
Yeah,
tables,
yep.
like
Just
or
like
you're
what do they call it? The Happy Salmon?
yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if this game would get better with a couple drinks or like absolutely terrible for your
I
hands.
feel like
Yeah.
Depends on
well,
the people.
I feel like it would be worse on your hands because you wouldn't feel it, and so you just
Yeah.
the next day you just wake up.
Well, maybe you
"Ow!"
could. Maybe everybody. It should come with a set of like gauntlets, or like those work gloves that have.
No, you just gotta
pads.
play. You gotta play on those anti-fatigue mats that
There you
like
go.
Yeah.
cashiers have.
There you go.
Yeah. What are cushioned? Oh, boxing gloves. You just play with boxing gloves.
Wait, I just feel like then you just asking for someone to just knock you out.
Yeah,
like,
that's true. Well,
Taco, bam.
Oh man, the silliest things to yell at someone before you punch them. Goat cheese.
Hey, those
Oh.
are two separate words. It would just be goat,
yeah.
and then the next person would say cheese.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say both because one's for my left fist and one's for my uppercut.
I call
know?
this one goat cheese, and I call this one pizza.
Pizza. Okay, 10 out of 10 would suggest. I have nothing to add.
And then I think was it the same day we played Lockup? I feel like it
Believable.
might have been.
Probably.
Yeah.
So this game is from Thunderworks Games, the same people who do Cartographers and Role Player. So like games that everybody here is a big fan of.
Yes.
And it's that same art style, so I imagine it's the same artist. And the original game, yes, block my face. The original game, I feel like kind of went under the radar because I don't know the exact times, but I feel like it released around the same time as cartographers. And so the all the focus was on cartographers and none of it on this game. I happened to see this in 2019 at the last con I went to, PAX Unplugged.
Nice.
And managed to convince them to get me this. And then we went into a pandemic and I didn't have anybody for like a year to play with. So once we started doing games again, this slowly made its way onto the pile. And we played it once, but then y'all have played it a lot more.
I think
times.
we played it 2 more times. Yeah.
Well, it's still more than I have.
yeah.
That's
I
true.
mean, it is. Yeah.
The statement was, I guess, its definition of a lot.
I haven't won yet.
Haven't won yet. Ooh.
That's probably why I don't want to play it.
Well, Cory seems to have an advantage at any role player themed game because I feel like anytime
just-
we play, like when we played role player, she won every time. I
She's
feel
just
like.
good at games.
My brain, I feel like, when hackers get into their like hacker moment, I feel like my brain just plays a role player game and it's like, I love this.
You may want to remember this for later when I'm talking about the. We have a game show, by the way. I haven't done a game show in a while, but we've got one.
Okay.
It's nice when there are multiple people here because it's harder to do a game show when it's just Philip and I.
God, that makes sense.
So Cory, why don't you describe, like, don't have to go into too detail, but just basics of what
Ooh.
Lockup is.
Well, how would you? Is it worker placement?
I would
Mm,
say so.
You
Yes,
get
yes.
You have like a limited number of
So you're a gang that's trying to
Yeah.
like be the best gang because they might become gladiators or something like
and
that.
if you're a gladiator, then you get to like fight for your freedom.
Yeah.
I would say this is a problematic theme.
yeah.
No quotes. I don't know why I did the quotes. But so essentially, I think you have 7 members, and
Yeah,
they're
something like that.
ranked 1 to 5, and then you have a lookout and a like bruiser.
Enforcer.
Enforcer. And there are several different places within the prison. You can place your workers in those different areas with the goal of having the highest number in those areas so that you can gain the resources of the specific area.
Mm.
Those resources will then help you get items and draft new crew members who
Give
will
you abilities and
those
Yep.
will get you victory points to finish the game. Your lookout also keeps you from getting the negative like infamy mechanic notoriety in
Or,
the
infamy. Yeah.
I think notoriety is the
I forgot what
mechanic
that
of the game.
did. What did that do if you got a lot of it?
If there's a raid on the prison cell,
Oh, right.
then you lose a certain number of like victory points or something.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
they take your supplies or whatever.
Yeah,
Something like
that's
that.
it.
Oh, and your supply is what makes your
Yeah.
your enforcer stronger. Yeah.
So the balancing mechanic is that obviously you want the higher number in a spot, but whoever has the highest number gets the blame.
Unless they have the scout. Yeah.
Right, unless you have the lookout. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
This game, fun,
Yeah.
Yeah.
simple, easy to
yeah,
learn.
I call
I
it
think
simple.
we picked it up within like what?
Yeah.
Yeah, like one
the-
round basically.
Yeah.
And the cool part is that you can. Did you already say you can put a couple face down when you're placing?
No.
Yeah,
So
so
like
there's a
two
little-
two of your guys you can put face down so that the other players can't tell what your strength is going to be in that area.
How many players? Is
So there's a
this?
little
Like
a
5?
little bluffing,
1
a
to
little
5, I think.
1 to
deception
5.
going on. So
We played it with 3. I think that playing it with like 5 would be very interesting.
Yeah.
mhm.
And there's
Um,
even a solo mode where there's like
Yeah.
guards that come in. Also, hey Kabuki Kid, shout out in the chat room.
Oh hi!
Hey,
So, and they just did last summer. This summer 2021, there is an expansion they kickstarted.
okay.
Cool. Are there? I can't remember. Are there special skills for each race?
You can play it that way. I think they have an asymmetrical mode and also
Gotcha.
I don't think we played it that
No.
way.
No.
I'd be interested in playing it that way.
Mhm.
This game was good. I would not say that it's one that I would pick up like again and again and again. Versus role player, I would play like
Mhm.
15 times in a row. But it was fun. Like I wouldn't say no to playing it again.
Right.
Yeah.
I would say, I would say if it's someone that's never played any of those types of games, this would not be the one I would recommend. But if it's someone who really likes role player and really likes cartographers, but maybe they just missed this,
Yeah.
I would say give it a shot because it's got that same feel, it's got that same theme, and that same art. Like I just love the artwork.
Yeah.
I am a huge fan of the artwork for this. I'm so excited for the new cartographers, the cartographers heroes. They sent me the playmat by itself,
But not the game.
like I backed the Kickstarter with the playmat, and so I got a package from them, and I was like, "Sweet as it's on its way," and it was just the playmat, and I was like, luckily there was a note inside that was like,
The game's coming.
"The game's coming. We just needed to break this up in order." Somehow it made logistics easier to get stuff. So
well, like holding stuff in a warehouse is probably expensive and frustrating.
right.
Um.
Oh, that's probably. I didn't even think of like space, so they have more space to get the
Warehouse
other
was
product.
full of playmats.
Yeah.
It's probably also nice to have like a little like a treat for anticipation. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
You can get your
Although
spot all
although
set
for
up.
me it's like Kickstarter. I don't know if how many Kickstarters have y'all backed like
Not many.
game wise.
Not many. Just Everdell, I think. We're not
Okay.
big
Oh, yeah,
Kickstarter
Everdell.
people.
Yeah.
All
But
of-
for me it's like once you back it, it's just forget about it till
Yep.
it shows up. So then when it
Oh,
shows
yeah, we did actually.
yeah, I'm excited for
So,
that.
you know,
We're gonna
that's
have to play
scheduled
that.
for, like,
yeah.
I don't know what, summer next year.
Yeah,
maybe?
did you back it as well?
I did not because y'all did.
Yeah,
That
cool.
was one of those I need y'all to tell me if you backed it so
So
that
we
I
don't
yeah.
redundantly play.
Yeah. So for me, it's like once you hit back, I just like to forget it. And then when the shipping notice comes is when it's like re-engages. But now I got the playmat. And so now I'm just like, I want the game.
Yeah,
So
patience.
yeah, Lockup.
Nice. Well,
Yep.
Kabuki says they like role player.
Nice.
Who? Why not? Why not? Who doesn't like role player?
Who
Yeah.
doesn't?
That game is great.
I like the dice mechanic.
Uh,
On dice mechanics.
Ah. Here, Jimmy, you can talk about this one.
Okay. The lid here. Here you go.
Boop.
So this is another game that Chris has lent us. Played a lot more of this one.
Yeah.
It's called Steampunk Rally. In this case, it's Steampunk Rally Fusion,
Yes. So
which was an expansion.
I believe it's either an expansion or a standalone game. This
Okay.
was a Kickstarter from last year. Steampunk Rally has been around, I want to say, since 2015, 2016.
And who's this one by?
This is Roxley Games.
Roxley Games.
hmm This right here is the Atomic Edition, which combines the two. So, like, if you flip the box
Oh, yeah,
over,
yeah.
that's what, like, the normal
It's
Steampunk
the
Rally.
OG
Yeah,
box.
The
yeah.
OG box, and then there's this one. But yes,
This was a great game because it's an engine builder. It's literally an engine builder.
it's an engine building
Um,
game.
Because I love engine builders, and I've done a lot better against Cory at this one. We're actually evenly matched, as opposed to I have no hope.
I absolutely love this game.
Yeah, so this is great. It's got a full cast of various like 18th, 19th, 20th century inventors, engineers, scientists, what have you.
And the game gives you little bios for all of them.
Yeah.
So you can play as some scientists that you probably have heard of. Like they have Tesla and Edison and Da Vinci
Mhm.
and
Marie
Ada
Curie,
Lovelace.
Ada
Rube
Lovelace.
Goldberg.
Rube
Yeah.
Goldberg, great.
Oh, I think Amelia Earhart's in there.
Is she?
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think she's
nice.
in the fusion set.
Oh,
I
okay.
think.
There are so
There's
many
some special characters. Like they have Dr. Braun from Back to the Future. They've
And I know
got
that, like-
Red Green.
Yeah,
from
those
Canada.
couple were promos that they combined for the Kickstarter edition
Okay.
put in.
Got it.
Like I had gotten the Dr. Braun, which is like the DeLorean is your cockpit card. I had gotten that at their booth because it was one of those like come up to us and ask for
Mhm.
it and you get it. And then the promo pack that came in the Steampunk Rally had that in it.
Yep.
So
Oh, and they
Uh,
got George Washington Carver in there
Oh, they do. A lot of
because he did
the
more than peanut butter.
women scientists were in aeronautics. I'm
Yeah.
guessing like they had a lot of physics and a lot of aeronautical stuff, some
Mhm.
space stuff. I wonder why they didn't have and like computer programming, but they didn't
Yeah.
have a lot of biology. I wonder if they were just like
Yeah.
well, I would imagine it's probably just more to do with
the
the
theme.
theme.
yeah. It
Uh,
just hit me.
just
I
like-
didn't, yeah.
The like if this were a real thing, who would be more likely to be in it?
Yeah. It very cool, and I love that some of the scientists you've never heard of were in there, and you get to like read a little bit,
Yep.
learn a little bit.
So the concept of the game is basically all these people are racing,
Mm-hmm.
and
On these big like steampunk
yeah,
huge machines.
So
think
the-
like you know the spider thing in Wild Wild West. with Will
yes,
Smith.
Heck
yes.
yeah.
It's basically
It's
that.
basically that, yeah. So every character starts off with a set of like a cockpit card and like an extra card, and then you draft all these different components that you can then build to it, and then when the race comes, it's like go, and the cards do a combination of making dice, changing dice from one type to another because you have heat, you have steam, and electricity to power
Mhm.
different parts, and then like so making dice, converting dice from one type to another, and using that to like move your car, like generating motion points to move your car
Yeah.
forward. So it's all real time. I mean, you don't have to play it, but like it's all real time of like everyone's rolling dice and grabbing other kinds of dice and slotting them in on their boards in right places, and like, oh, this generates me 5 or like 3 movement or something, and moving down the board and
Taking damage and
Yeah.
destroying parts of your machine
Yeah,
so
like,
that you can survive.
you're taking damage, so things are just flying off your car, and
It's so good.
Yeah.
I feel like there's every time we've played it. So first off, in this box, I don't know what comes in the normal game. You get 4 maps, and every
Mhm.
map is
I believe
different.
each individual box comes with 2 because it's one set of double-sided tiles.
Gotcha. And so what's nice about that is every map has
Yep.
different mechanics. Every time you play, you can play as a different scientist, which gives you a completely different
Oh, especially
mechanic.
this version, it's like overwhelming how many different people there are.
But
Oh,
it's fun
yeah.
because we've just been picking one at random.
True.
And then not only that, you can do like your secret missions, which
Yep.
add another mechanic.
Yep.
Every time we've played, it's been completely different.
Yep.
And we've played 10 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is like in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like I just brought this over not that long ago.
We have one one other friend that we play a lot of games with, and she came over, and she's been loving it too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we've been playing a lot.
Yeah, I bought the original version of this. So I had played this one of the times at our local shop, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then I bought it when we went on a trip to Orlando. It was like me and Philip, and we played it, and he loved it. So this is a game actually Philip has played.
Nice.
Whether he remembers it, different story. But then it had kind of just sat on the shelf. Like I've had this game forever, and just sat. Like, it was one of those I like it, but I just don't play enough of the old
Yeah.
go through the collection that much. And so the Kickstarter came, and it just been kind of sitting in that little hole right there. So it was like I need to get this played because I remember how awesome this game was. Plus, I knew the theme wise, y'all might be into it
Yeah.
as well, which apparently I guessed correctly.
Yeah, it also like it feels very similar to like a Terraforming Mars or an Everdell because it's engine
Mm.
Yeah.
building with card drafting.
Yep.
And those are our favorite games.
I think I said this the other night where it was just I think the biggest besides the theme and the artwork is just it's a ton of dice rolling.
Yeah.
It's just a ton of dice rolling.
Yeah. I think that's your main
Yeah,
like of the game, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
I do like opening a box and seeing a ton of dice.
Yeah.
Also, I love how the box is designed. It is so easy to put this
Oh,
game
yeah.
away.
Shout out. This gets a
Pleasing.
box design shout out.
Oh, a sexy box.
Where's the
not.
sound effect for that?
Yep.
Hold on. Sure. Hmm,
We can do
we could
better.
do better. All right. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. We will not talk more until a good sexy nod.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, yeah, it's a great design box. Lots of dice. And I mean, steampunk I can take or leave, but I think it's the engine building mechanics that are good for me.
And
think-
it works in the sense that your machine can be all gobbledygook crazy.
That's
Yeah.
true.
It doesn't have to quote unquote make sense why one part's like way over here and
That's
one
true.
part's down here.
Because it's steam.
It's
Yeah.
goofy. I do like a mechanic of the game on things being wild and crazy kids. The first person over the finish line, so it's a race, isn't necessarily the winner because you'll do one complete round after that. And the person
Yep.
who like pushed themselves to exertion trying to get over the finish line might make themselves explode
Yep.
because when you're playing with steam, you're playing a dangerous game.
or like when we the last game we played where Cory was obviously ahead and triggered the end game, and so the last game, one of the other types of cards you get are these boost cards that can do different effects, and so all of us were throwing down these cards that like this one's like, oh, if you end in a space that doesn't have terrain, then it's gonna give you damage.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna take you extra things to move this turn.
Yeah.
Or stuff.
They blue shelled me. I got triple blue shell.
Yeah, this game definitely has like a blue shell mechanic potentially.
And I love a blue shell mechanic. Especially in a game that has inherent luck.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
There's not a bunch of luck at play because you're able to change die rolls. You know that like you're rolling dice, so there is like a fear of messing things up a bit. But someone can get very lucky.
And it's a severe consequence too, because if you blow up, you go all the way to the back. Like it's not like you just restart where you are.
Yep.
Yep.
But yeah, like you said, there's a limited amount of luck, but there is luck because
and
it
the
is
die
card drafting. So
and the die roll piece is entire luck. Like
Die
I
roll.
could not roll I was rolling a lot of ones and twos the other night.
My last roll against Jimmy this round, or the last game we played, I had
saved
6
me.
dice, and I rolled all 1s, 2s, and 3s.
Ooh.
And I was like, ooh.
It's probably the only reason I won. But
I mean,
I find that the randomness kind of helps cut down on the analysis paralysis, which
Yeah.
I am prone to succumb to. I know Colin would probably hate playing any engine game with me.
Yeah.
But anyway, I feel that the randomness helps cut down on that because it limits the amount of thinking ahead
and
that you have to do.
because everyone's playing at the same time, like it's not like someone's waiting for you to go so that they can go, which is nice.
Yeah.
Is there anything else to say about this game? Oh, it can play up to 8 players.
That would be crazy.
We play a lot of games with like 2 couple friends, which
Yeah.
means we have 6 people.
5 is also a very big popular point for our game nights too.
Yeah.
So it's like finding a game. It's like that's one reason because Lockup goes up to 5, but we didn't. Sometimes you don't want to put like max player count the first time you play it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of games that go like 2 to 4, and it's like, well, crap. What am I?
Can't do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
This game will be a staple on our shelves. I think we're going to have to buy it.
Need more games for that. 2 couples and a 5th crowd.
Or 2 couples, but one's a throuple.
There you go.
Is 8 too many for something like this?
No.
No.
I want that chaos so bad.
Yes and no. No, because everything's happening real time. So like the drafting, everyone's passing.
That's true.
And then the racing, everybody's rolling their dice and moving their people around.
That helps.
The only time that it can be disruptive, that I could see it being a problem at higher player counts, is too much paralysis on choosing the cards, and you've got everybody waiting on one person so that the cards flow down,
Right.
Yeah.
basically. And then B, during the race, we had this problem with Jimmy sometimes where we're all done with our engine because it's just and Jimmy's still like putting stuff
Maybe
on
I
and
just
moving
had
stuff.
a better running engine. I don't know.
And that's
generating
entirely
more dice.
possible, but I'm talking
It
about
takes a minute.
Yeah.
the more people you have, the more likely that situation might
you
occur.
You still have to wait for
You're
people.
also going to need a big old table. And
That's true.
The map isn't
at larger
necessarily-
player counts.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
dice rolling. You might need some dice trays.
But that sounds like an opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess during the race phase, there's people playing those boost cards.
Yeah.
So you might need to
Tell everyone
you might
to
need to
shut
pay
up.
you might need to pay attention to what other people are doing since it's kind of real time, because if your card depends on people being in front of you.
Could buy a steam whistle.
I
And if
just
you're
had-
holding the steam whistle.
You know what would be the greatest accessory for this game?
What was that?
A giant, or so like imagine a dice tower, but it's 3 parts, one for each type of die. And then somehow you'd have like a lever. So like when you get a die, you press a lever for that. Like you'd press the lever for the red, and it dispenses and rolls it for you.
Okay.
And then you need something ridiculous for a fusion die.
But I'm thinking like a dice tower that's got like maybe glass that's got like steps on it and just like a complicated machinery piece.
Well, you can use that
Like a Rube
magnet
Goldberg.
block stuff that would,
Yeah.
you
There we
just
go.
put the dice at the bottom and it lifts it up to the top.
And it does like a jump and then lands in your
Yeah.
Sounds like that'd be a really fun project to make with a kiddo. You're like, I'm going to teach you how routers work.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's some companies out there that make some really intricate dice tower stuff.
Yeah.
Going back a little bit, just because another thing that got mentioned in the chat is that we need to try is role player adventures. So this was another Kickstarter that I believe was last year as well, where it's okay. You've made this character in role player. Now we're gonna go take it and play a game with it.
Oh.
So it's basically like the second half of the game, where it's a game using those characters that you've made.
Fun.
Yeah.
Is it like a abbreviated like D&D adventure?
I don't know. I don't remember
Gotcha.
much about it because it was one of those like pre-Gen Con. It was also in the middle of 2020 is when it got
Gotcha.
kickstarted. So I was just not looking.
Yeah.
It was that, and also that was the same time that like there were like 4 Kickstarters I was backing right around that time. So I just didn't look into it.
Makes total sense.
So, but yeah,
Well, look it up. Cool.
if I had readier access to the keyboard, I would have brought it up on screen. But this is what happens when Philip's not here. I have too much stuff in front of me.
Well, we can put these away.
Yes. So, Jimmy,
Yes.
would you reach behind you? There's a stack of note cards up on top of that,
Okay.
and grab those right in front of the My Little Pony.
Okay. I think I knocked the pony down.
Oh well. And then
No, you just push the pony back.
here I'm gonna give you. See, this is called reusing. I ordered a bunch of these for the first Gen Con I went
Nice.
to. Like you can even see the old crappy logo that I drew on there.
Heck yeah.
And
it's
so I
cute.
just use these as cards for game shows now.
Don't hate on yourself. You did a good job. You did your best.
Yeah.
I did my best. All right, and then each of y'all take a pencil
Could I have a pencil, please?
A pencil?
or a pen, whatever
I could
you're.
take a Sharpie so it's nice and big.
Oh, okay. Good point.
So while they're getting ready, I will say I
Thanks.
finally got to experience something new in Warhammer that I'd heard people talk about, and I don't know if you've ever heard of like kit bashing or anything like
Is that when people say mean things about what your miniatures look like?
No, so a lot of people, what they'll do is because Games Workshop minis and a lot of minis like this, they'll come with extra parts to allow you customize. Like you may only have 5 figures, but it'll come with 8 heads so that you can choose which of the heads you want to
Okay.
put
Yeah.
on your dude. So you'll have a lot of people just have bins, and I have one now of just extra parts. And so sometimes kit bashing is where you'll take those custom parts and like modify other
Cool.
pieces to it. Like, oh, maybe I'm gonna take this dude and put this other head on it that's not supposed to be here, or maybe I'm gonna take this base and put a bunch of bits on the bottom. It looks like he's trampling people or something. Or
Nice.
but there's a unit in the book that I have that's like a chaplain or something, but like they don't really make that much. It was like a limited edition thing, but he's basically like a guy in this specific armor type that has like a staff with like a skull on it, that sort of thing, and a special mask. And so I was like, well, I have this extra Terminator that came in this. I bought like a lot of them off of Facebook Marketplace. And I was like, I was gonna, you know, I hadn't planned on painting this up, but then I was like, he's got a staff on him. I just went and sliced the top of the staff off, which is why I'm wearing a finger, because
Oh.
it had resistance to it.
Yeah.
So then I was putting extra force, and then it slipped, and then just
Yep.
went right.
Right into the flesh.
Yeah. But I went to our store, and they
Blood
have
for the blood throne.
blood
Is
for
that
the
a
blood.
40K thing?
That is a 40K
Nice.
thing.
Well done.
There's a paint, a technical paint that's called Blood for the Blood God.
Nice.
And I just went and I took just because my army's all about fighting the armies of chaos and demons and stuff. I took one of their Chaos Space Marine guys and just stuck it on his staff. And I'm like, ha! Now he's a cleric or whatever it is.
Dark.
Yeah.
Like you put the body on the staff?
No, just the head.
Still dark.
You're also too far away from the microphone.
I know. I can't sit under the table.
Well, you could just pick it up and just talk into it if you
yeah,
wanted
that's
to.
what I'm gonna do. 100%. Hi guys, ready for my stand-up special?
What's the deal with airplane food?
40K. There's rat people. Why's everyone always got rat people?
Well, also it's the thing of everything in 40K is bad, so that's why.
That's true. Didn't your new villain game, the one with the vampires.
Vampires, yeah.
That one's got rat people now.
It does have rat people now. I did get that expansion. The Wolf and the Rat.
Very cool.
40K says he's got massive quantities of bits. It's a bit
Gallon-sized
ridiculous. It's a bit
bags.
ridiculous.
Gallon-sized Ziploc bags.
Bits, a bag, and that's one bag. And then he's got another bag of Dark Eldar bits, a bag of Tyrannide bits, a Space Marine bits, etc., etc.
Wow.
That's a lot of bits.
I've got a box that's like this big.
Does anyone make like monstrosities? Like you just put like
Yes.
15 skulls?
Yes, there are people that just take all the extra bits and like kind of put them together.
You could put like lots of skulls underneath your blood god throne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
So before we get started
Wait, before you go, I have
Oh.
a great idea.
Oh.
If you have a lathe, what if you got all your weird bits? You put them in
Oh.
epoxy. You make a bowl out of it with your lathe. That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Chris, give me all your bits. I need
And
to buy a lathe.
you put
You're just
blood
gonna
in the
buy-
bowl.
Or you do like the pen blanks and you make a cool blank
Yep.
out of all your bits.
Yep.
That'd be fun.
Also cool.
Melt them down and turn them into dice.
That'd be cool.
Okay.
It's how do you okay, this is a silly question and it's probably derailing, but I feel like when you embed things into resin dice, how do they roll without having
Oh,
like
yeah.
a
Balanced.
A balance?
Yeah.
Well, I think you just gotta wait it out. So like you don't just put one piece on one side. You put like something on the other side.
But we're humans and we are prone to error. Like how do we get it perfect? I guess you can't get it perfect. It's
Yeah.
the
Well, it
right
also
way.
just matters of like what you put in there.
Yeah. I was thinking the heads of Space Marines.
But like if it's in the center, it's not gonna deviate that much.
I hope so. But
But you got to get it exactly in the center.
And also, you just accept the fact there's going to be some deviance.
yeah. You just
Make
push
sure
it
it's on the.
push it harder towards the one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so before I get to, we're going to have a game show here.
Woo!
I will say that everyone needs to go to boardsandswords.com/Patreon or just patreon.com/boardsandswords and throw us $1 a month and you get access to bonus episodes and stuff. But other than that, also people need to join the Slack. I don't promote the Slack as much on here, and people should join the Slack because like there's people talking about board games, mainly Beetle. I'm surprised he's not in the chat.
Also, pictures of Chris's cat. Picture
Also
of Beetle's cat.
Yep.
There you go.
There's a random channel that has been as unofficially the cat channel.
Yeah.
But like I had a friend that was asking me a bunch of questions about miniatures and stuff, and I was like, you should join the Slack because then you don't have to hear me just tell you all these things. Because there's even times where I'll post pictures and be like, man, I can't get this one thing to set up. And like Beetle was like, why don't you magnetize it? And I'm like, where were you like 2 weeks ago?
I can't do it now.
Yeah, so there's a lot of it's a slow building community, but especially in the mini stuff, there's been a lot of talk back and forth. If you like role playing games, he posts like the bundle of holding stuff like as soon as it comes out.
Nice.
Like usually I'll get the notification from him first, and then the notification from the email saying what the new thing is, in that order.
Hell yeah.
So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, we are going to be playing, of course, the Newlywed Game here.
Ooh.
So, I've both given you stuff.
I love this. I'm so excited.
So, there's a variety of questions in here, but basically, if you should know the way that you're trying to see how many of these you could guess correctly.
Right.
I'll keep score.
We want to have the same answer to
You
get
want to
points.
have the same answer to get points.
All right.
So we will start off. Here's the first question for you. So, who is better at playing board games?
How do you define better?
We have to.
You have to define it however you
Yep,
think
yep,
you.
yep,
We have
yep.
to guess what the other person's gonna say.
Well, you both have to have the same answer. That's whatever it takes for you to get there. I wish
Okay.
I had the Newlywed
All
music,
right.
and I wish I could play it without
What
getting.
is the Newlywed music?
I'm sure there's a thing for it. I kind of want to do the.
Okay.
I know
All
that's
All
not
right, I
it,
have an
but-
answer.
Okay.
Okay.
What? Corey, what have you got?
I said James.
Up.
Yep.
The reason that I said Jimmy is because he's better at you can't see it, but I promise that's right. He's better at learning the rules and he's better at he's better at learning the rules than me. Takes
Okay.
me a
Okay.
long time.
Okay, I
James?
can see that reasoning. I said statistically, me. Actually, Corey.
That's a cheat. He put.
Well, I just no. The only rule is I have to guess what she's gonna say.
Okay.
Right? So here's my reasoning. I went with. I realized the question was just who's better at playing board games. I went with like who's better at winning board games.
Ah.
And you know that we keep a tally board at our house.
Yeah.
Of wins.
It says who is the better human being.
Right, which obviously the metric.
Hey,
is
I'm on the
wins at
board. I have
game.
like 2 or 3
Chris
wins.
is on the board.
That's right.
Everyone gets to make a
That's right.
little icon. Chris's icon is Batwing.
Yeah,
Batman.
the little bat symbol.
Mine is a flower. Jimmy's supposedly is a bear.
It's a bear.
Doesn't look like a bear.
Kind of looks like a pig.
I don't know if I want to give
Kind of
you
looks
points.
phallic.
I don't want to give you points for that.
Anyway, at the time of this recording, I'm currently in the lead on that tally board, but I feel that I don't know. Corey's good at going for the objective,
Thank you.
and we have a lot to learn from her.
So I'm gonna give you that.
So how many times if we get it wrong till we have to get divorced?
I would hope none. like there wouldn't be a number, but
Yep.
all right. Next question. I'm not saying anyone does, but if someone was going to cheat, who is more likely to cheat?
Okay, I know what I'm putting for
I
this,
know what I'm putting.
and I think we both have the exact same reasoning. I'm hoping.
Okay, ready?
All right.
I said neither of us
Damn
because
it. I said Corey.
cheating requires intent.
That
I
is
think
true.
that we could whoopsie, and if it's whoopsie, me, because like I said, we both know that it takes me a minute to learn rules. But once I could,
Well, apparently your husband disagrees.
Yeah. I think
I think we agree. We just have different.
Feel free to reuse them
We're,
too.
Yeah, I will,
we're
I will.
explaining this differently. I think you're always worried that you're going to cheat.
I am so worried that people think I cheat or that I am cheating that I speak out my turns most of the time because I'm like, I want someone to call me out if I mess up because I mess up.
And it's only
sometimes.
because rules are hard to learn. There's
Well,
a lot of rules.
you're 0 for 2.
0 for 2.
Dang,
All right.
we don't have a prenup.
This one might be the same answers as some of the other ones, but we'll just say who's more competitive.
Okay.
These might be all different ways of saying the same thing, but
No, I have an answer for this.
Okay. Jimmy goes first.
I said me.
Yeah.
Jimmy.
I said Jimmy, but only because I think that when Jimmy starts to lose against people who aren't me, he gets sad.
hey, that's a point.
Yeah, I don't know. Just my personality type has always been I'm laid back for most things, but once I'm in a game, I get competitive.
That's great though.
But I've tried to be less pouty when I'm losing, and I've tried to be. I think you can tell when I'm trying to be gracious when I'm winning.
Okay.
And I think let me be clear. I don't think I've ever been a sore winner. I may have been a sore loser.
The next question was who's the source loser, but I think we've already answered that.
Yeah.
So
It might
right.
actually be me because I do tell Jimmy when he wins that we're getting a divorce every time.
Still married.
So
all
we're-
right. So this next section here,
Okay.
we're gonna go in. We're gonna alternate. You're both still gonna write something down, but we're gonna be alternating who's the focus of each question.
Okay.
And this will make sense as first question. What is Corey's favorite game? So both of you write down the answer.
Oh man.
Sorry, didn't mean to
Ooh,
like.
You can tap me in the back. That's no problem.
This-
What is my favorite game? Is the
This
problem?
is challenging. Favorite game.
And Jimmy, the next one is what's your favorite game? So go ahead.
I'm gonna have to think about that. All right. Gosh, favorite game of all time. What's it gonna be?
Okay, I'm gonna go with my heart and go quickly. And
Be indecisive.
what could I
Okay.
play? Anytime, anywhere.
Okay, I'm also gonna be decisive, and it's gonna be. I don't think this is gonna be
Okay.
right, but I think that's a good chance.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I said Terraforming Mars.
Yeah, okay, so I wrote down ever for Everdell.
Yeah.
Terra for Terraforming Mars. I was thinking about Bananagrams, but then I wrote Steampunk Rally because that's my favorite right now.
See, I also knew that. I was like, the top spot is just, it's ephemeral.
It's ephemeral.
Which
But-
makes sense. I mean, favorites evolve over time.
But
People
once again,
change.
we got it wrong.
Now, what am I going to pick?
So now, what is Jimmy's
Ooh.
I
favorite
guess you could say
game?
mine is Steampunk Rally again
That's what I was going to
for
write.
now, but that's not, I'm going to do all time.
Of all time.
All time.
All time.
All time. All time.
Okay.
This is why I haven't done a top 10 list in a while, because like it
It's too
changes
hard.
all the time, and the fact that I don't even know if I've played 10 different games over the past
Just
like
gonna look around
funny.
the room. Now, this is only board games, correct?
yes, so it's limited to board games.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Take a look around the room.
I'm going to
All
go
right.
grab a drink because evidently I swallowed something very weird.
Go for it.
That gives me more time
It does. To
to
him and Hawk.
consider this answer that I'm writing down. I've written down.
Corey, is it the one that's at the bottom of the thing here? Okay, well Corey got it wrong because she wrote Everdell. Because Jimmy, what did you write down?
I wrote down Terraforming Mars. Look, I can't. I'm shit at ranking things that I like.
Now you got to do a top
Okay,
three.
well, this is going to be a little easier. All right, maybe.
Okay.
Okay.
What is Corey, or let's do Jimmy first. What is
Okay.
Jimmy's favorite player color?
Oh, okay.
Ooh, okay. Okay.
Okay.
I know it. We ready?
Ready.
Green.
Green.
Woo!
All
Okay, I'm
right.
gonna write down Corey's.
Now, Corey's favorite player color.
Oh gosh, the problem is she has like a top 3, depending on what the game has. All right, I'm just gonna write down one of them though. I'm gonna be brave, be bold.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, I wrote down yellow.
White.
Fuck! Oh no!
I do love yellow.
White.
All right.
What?
This is the two.
What happened to the fuchsia from viticulture?
That was the first thing that came to my mind. The fuchsia in viticulture, beautiful. Such a pretty color.
I'm just glad neither of them's red because that's mine. So that means I'm probably going to end up with red.
We always keep red for you and blue for our friend Anelia.
Kabuki Kid says they like to grab yellow because most people tend to leave it till last. So
Huh.
it's nice and easy.
Nice.
So, all right, 2 more board game related. Then we have a couple of just random fun, the lightning
Okay.
round.
I'm gonna have to reuse some cards here.
All right. Well, when we get to lightning round, it's just going to be, I think we're just going to go 3, 2,
Yep,
1,
okay.
say it.
I
Got
think
it.
that's great.
But last one's here. Let's go back to Corey. What is Corey's least favorite game?
Oh.
I didn't want to say like worst game, but just like
least favorite.
least
Okay.
favorite.
All right. Okay.
so you interpret that how you will.
I've got one. And
See, there's 2 ways this could go. Okay. I'll go with the. Okay. Ready.
I already wrote mine down. I think I got it right. Secret
Hitler? Yeah.
Yep.
mhm. Yep.
Good job.
All right, you want to do my least
Yep.
favorite game now?
Yep.
Secret Hitler.
Yep.
Look, it's a great concept. We're just bad at lying and
I want to chit chat with my friends, not my fake friends who have to lie to me about if they're Hitler. You know what I mean?
basically any social deception game. I think it's partly because I suck at it, and partly just because I don't have fun trying to suss out
Yeah.
who's who. But
So Kabuki Kid asks a great question. Is
Yeah.
it the theme of the game or is it the game itself?
no,
It's the game itself.
like
it's the
if it
game
was
itself.
like some people have rethemed to like Secret Voldemort or
Yeah.
what else have I
like
seen?
Werewolf is similar.
Okay.
What
it
else
doesn't
is-
matter. It doesn't
yeah.
matter what the theme is. I'm just very bad at lying, and I think
So like
even-
those like did I play DC Spyfall with y'all?
Mm-hmm.
So like those types of games too.
I don't
Yeah.
mind. Which one is the one where you like have to point to thing or like there's a words. There's different environments and you point to them, or you have to like figure out who the spy is by
Yes,
asking
that's the
questions.
Spyfall.
I
where-
don't mind that one because there's a mechanic in it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's not like you're just
Mhm.
lying, like chit chatting. You know what I
Right.
mean?
right.
You're asking someone a question and they're responding to it, not just like having to just straight up defend where like nobody could say anything and then just like
Right.
Yeah. Spyfall was great. I really do
Mhm.
enjoy that one. I described it terribly. Chris, would you like to describe to the audience what it actually is?
I mean it's just everybody's at a location except for one person doesn't know the location that they're at, and so you're trying to figure out who doesn't know where they're at basically.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
My favorite version of that is a fake artist goes to New York.
I've
But
never heard of that.
That one is more in the kind that you wouldn't like, where everybody. So same idea where everybody gets a card and you flip the card up, and it has like a thing on it, and everybody attempts to draw the thing. But what
Gotcha.
it is everybody has a different color marker, and you're drawing on the same piece of paper.
Okay.
So like one piece. So like if it's like car, somebody might draw like the bumper, and then somebody needs to draw like a wheel. But you're trying to guess who doesn't know what they're supposed to be drawing.
So you can't make it too obvious.
You can't make it too obvious. And if they get it, the person can redeem themselves if they can guess what the card was.
That's great. I love that. I would love to play that.
And it comes in a box that's like this big.
A+.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, the tiny oink boxes. But they're right. Kabuki Kid is right. These games are very group dependent. You play them with the wrong group, and you
Right.
just know.
Gotcha.
All right. So now this is lightning round style. These are very easy questions, and just 3, 2, 1. First thing that you think it's
It's a lot of pressure.
Well, you only have 2 options. It's this or this.
As long as
Gotcha.
it's not
I thought you were going to
favorites.
say, what's 5 times 6?
No. It's just gonna be. I'm gonna give you 2 options. You're gonna pick one. You don't. You can give me reasons afterwards.
Okay.
But just like top of the list. So,
Okay.
all right, ready?
Ready.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Coke.
All right. I gotta get fingers back on there. Cake or pie?
Pie. Yes.
Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
Nice. For ice cream specifically, chocolate or strawberry?
Chocolate.
Wow.
Are we trying to match, or are we just picking what we want?
I'm giving you points if you match.
Okay, I was
Okay.
going with what we want, but we seem to be on the same page.
Yeah.
That's just because I might edge out strawberry over chocolate.
Okay.
Wow.
Anyway.
Last one: Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
That's a 5 for 5.
Unless it's Batman films.
Oh man, I'm so excited for
Like I don't get tired of new Batman films. Apparently,
I don't.
That being said, I've only really watched the Christopher Nolan
Forward
trilogy.
What about the?
I mean, I watched some of the George Clooney with
Mhm.
nipples Batman, but not. It's so long ago that like I haven't watched it in my adult life.
Oh, then
And I
what you're
probably
saying
don't
is I
need
need to
to.
show you the Adam West Batman where he spends like 5 minutes carrying
thrown
up
him with a bomb.
with the bomb.
I would love
Yeah.
to. We
Yeah.
should do that absolutely. I love watching movies with the intent on joking around the whole time. and
Oh yeah,
talking.
like MS3K basically, or MS.
Yep.
Yeah, Mr.
Yeah.
Science Theater.
Yep.
So out of a possible, let's see, how many questions I have? 15. You got
6.
9.
Oh, 9. Ooh.
Okay, all right. I feel like that's
That-
more than half. I think we can stay married.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
There's bonus ones in here. Yeah, sometimes you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Oh,
Ooh, these are
All right, what do we
hard.
got? here.
Eggnog or pumpkin spice?
pumpkin spice.
Pumpkin spice.
All right, and Indiana Jones or Han Solo?
Ooh.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Indiana
Han
Jones.
Solo. I don't know.
Oh, no!
Like-
This is bonus round, so you're not getting points
Yeah.
for this.
Indiana Jones, great because he wants things to be in a museum. Although
Yeah.
you should probably give them back to the culture where they.
that is true.
Isn't
He's got
stealing from indigenous?
Probably.
Yeah, he's got it. Okay, all right.
If I'm honest,
Mhm.
I've never watched an Indiana Jones movie.
If I'm honest, I haven't seen one all the way
I
through.
mean, they both fight
because-
Nazis.
Mhm.
So
I haven't seen one all the way through because the only times I've seen Indiana Jones was on cable TV, and you
Yep.
pick it up at whenever.
Yep.
I do love though when you walk or like at the gym and say The Matrix is on or Lord of the Rings is on, and you're like, oh, I gotta run to the helicopter to get Morpheus. I feel like Indiana Jones would be a great movie.
I'm
for
gonna
that.
nod my head because I'm gonna act like I've been in that position, but I haven't.
Okay, I feel you. Oh my gosh! First off, Raiders of the Lost Ark caught it. Maybe we'll watch that one. But the new Matrix movie coming out for Christmas. Are we excited?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We could talk about more of that in bonus bits afterwards.
Okay. Cool.
Because I got plenty of Batman thoughts that we could talk about also.
Jeffrey Wright being what's his face?
Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah, I want him to be actual Batman.
Yeah.
I think I saw a title or a headline once that was Jeffrey Wright, who would make a great Batman, is going to play Batman in a podcast about Batman. I'd like to.
I'm
see
for it.
Yeah.
And then I especially like The Matrix is coming out on HBO.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Agreed.
So
And it looks like they have a lot of the original cast.
okay,
Anyway.
last thing.
Dune
thir-
Love.
30
yes,
seconds.
I
Give me
saw
your
it last night.
Dune takes.
Dune takes every moment, every still shot of that movie. So every frame is beautiful. It could be a screensaver. I'm not going to say any spoilers, Kabuki Kid. But like the lighting is creamy. All the textures are sharp. The color palettes, perfect. It was beautiful. I would watch that movie on silent and just look at it. It's so pretty. And the plot's good. I just read the book so that I could like watch the movie and know what was happening.
For someone like me who hasn't read the book, I agree with the creaminess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know. I don't think anybody knew that it was just going to be part 1 of Dune until like just recently.
Did find it very interesting. They didn't talk about like the book is very focused on assassination, which was very interesting, and political intrigue. I feel like that was not there.
This is the longest 30 seconds ever.
I was just gonna say it felt, obviously it felt incomplete because it is incomplete. But I don't know. I just I guess there was a lot to put in. The Freeman didn't come into it too much.
Yep.
So I was expecting more from them.
I really liked the scientist Keynes. I think
Yeah.
that's their name.
Or Kynes.
Kynes. I think that Javier Bardem as Stilgar is weird. I did not see him like in my brain. He was Dave Bautista.
Yep.
What
But
about
man-
you? Have you seen it?
No,
Do you want to see it?
I'll get around to it.
Yep.
I told you, like, I hated the book.
Yeah.
I'm only letting,
All the tech stuff was really cool. I mean, it was a really good movie. Anyway,
Also, Skarsgård is Vladimir Harkonnen. Did the Skarsgårds only get to play bad guys? Is that like a rule?
they just look like bad guys.
Maybe it's because how pasty white they are.
Maybe. Hey, Jimmy, you want to be a bad guy?
Hey.
I could see like Jimmy Het with a goatee,
Uh-huh.
like playing some like Bond villain.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Talking about part 2 was just greenlit,
Oh, just green.
Denis,
or someone just today told me that part 2 was
What
greenlit.
else is-
Okay.
What else is Denis Villeneuve? Is that how you say his name?
Mm.
What else has
Could
he
be
done?
Dennis.
It's definitely Denis. Sorry,
Denis.
that sounded so douchey.
Denis.
I watched him in a interview, and it was Denis, and I remember being like, "Oh, okay, cool."
Oh, you could have said that. You didn't say. I'm pretty sure it's like. No, I heard it. It's.
Oh yeah.
You made it sound like no. I'm just gonna go on the way it sounds that it's probably.
No. I would have called him Dennis. Oh, Blade Runner. Yeah, I heard that was also very beautiful.
So if you've liked the last 5 minutes or so, then you need to subscribe on Patreon because literally when I'm gonna hit the stop streaming, we're gonna continue this conversation.
Gotcha. Oh wait, he did Arrival. Ooh, I love Arrival.
Or maybe I'll just keep streaming and then just trim that part off.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yep, Arrival was great.
Have you seen Arrival? It's like,
No, not the new one. The only Arrival I've
That's
seen.
an old one?
yeah, I don't know.
There was a movie that had Charlie Sheen in it called The Arrival.
Mm.
I don't know if it's any relation to the one that it's got Amy Adams.
Yes.
And Hawkeye.
So it's got both Marvel and DC in it.
He's forever just going to be Hawkeye.
Yeah, the new Hawkeye also
Okay,
looks really
so
good.
there's
It
another
does.
movie called The Arrival. That's what I've seen as The Arrival.
What was that about? Tiger Blood?
Also
Bas-
aliens.
Aliens come in and they've disguised themselves, and Charlie Sheen's pretty sure he's got it out, but everyone thinks he's crazy until he
that's
goes to
scary.
find like proof.
Got it.
So hold your horses for like 60 seconds,
Can't-
or maybe a few. I don't know how long this goes. I'm gonna start playing this. All right, that wraps up our episode this week. I'm liking the vibe we got in the stream right now, so I'm gonna leave the stream going and we'll keep talking. If you want to catch the show live, we record every other Sunday. boardsandSwords.com/live has a schedule and the links for all our live streaming channels. If you like the show, boardsandswords.com to see all the other stuff. The YouTube channel, youtube.com/boardsandswords. I just put up the second part of my video roasting myself playing 40K. I've also got a new D&D review coming out soon. You can also email questions and comments, feedback at boardsandswords.com. We're on social media, facebook.com/boardsandswordspod, and at Boards and Swords on Twitter, and at Boards and Swords Chris on Instagram. So this podcast is also part of Punchboard Media. For other great gaming podcasts, check out punchboardmedia.com. And thank you for listening. Once again, patreon.com/boardsandswords to support the show, and we'll be back in 2 weeks with another show. In the meantime, remember that every gamer has a story, and I went through that super fast. But literally, I'm only playing this just so I know where to cut the episode off.
Cool.
Like I said, those in the chat room, I know I normally kill the stream, but we'll keep this going a bit.
Before you cut it, guys, I just finished the Stormlight Archive, and I only have 2 friends who will talk to me about it. If you've read those books, if you just finished Rhythm of War, get at me. I need memes.
So boardsandswords.com/Slack. I'll make you a channel so you can talk about it.
Please do. Oh, also, there's a Stormlight Archive board game coming out.
Wow.
You should ask for it. We could play it. Or maybe I'll buy it and then we can play it.
Or, yes, I need info, but yes, I will look that up.
Heck yeah.
Okay.